All right, here we go. Grab a chair, get some popcorn if you have some popcorn, and sit down, relax, and because we're going to talk about for the next few minutes, we're going to talk about something that I don't know if you need to hear, because there's a bunch of different types of people who are watching these videos, but a bunch of people watching these videos need to hear this. So if you are a student pilot right now, you could probably use some of this, because I, as an instructor, I get a bunch of emails from a bunch of people all over the country, all the time, who share with me their experience. And while many people's experience does often have to do with outside external circumstances, most of the time what I found, it has to do with in their own head. And a big issue that I've seen over and over and continue to see over and over and over again is the lack of grace, the lack of leeway, the lack of understanding, the lack of support, the lack of caring for, the lack of a break that many student pilots unfortunately don't give themselves. You know, when you show up to flight training, there's a bunch of resources, right? Resources is one of the first things you learn in flight training. Air traffic control, the POH, the ACS, FAA documents, other pilots, right? Everything about flying is utilizing your resources correctly, right? And a big resource is their flight instructor. And we get so caught up about thinking of all these external resources that I think far too often student pilots forget that their greatest resource is themselves. The one person who has the most control over the experience of that student during their flight training is them. It's that student. And so many, unfortunately, student pilots either forget this or never realize this in the first place. They show up to flight training, and because they're so new to this, there's what's called an inferiority complex, and they start feeling like they're nothing, they're a nobody, because they know nothing about this process. How do you expect to learn anything if you walk around thinking you're a nothing or a nobody because you're simply new to a process, right? I've met some unbelievably successful people, physicians, CEOs of companies, right? These are mostly my clients. I work with people who are high achievers, and they are people who are go, 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 and they're very successful with what they do. And guess what? They show up to flight training, and I start talking with them about atmospheric pressure, weight balance, whatever it might be. Concepts they never really thought about, they know nothing about. And it's fascinating. You see these people slowly go from this person that they are in real life into, oh, I don't know this, I don't know that. And instead of keeping that high achiever mindset coming and simply understanding, okay, I'm just new to this, they sort of fall into this place of, well, I don't really get these things. It doesn't really come easy to me. And they start telling themselves stories. And I have to remind them that even here in flight training, in this environment that's completely new and unfamiliar to you, you are still your greatest and best resource. So what I want to talk for a few minutes in this video, after having spoken with so many people about their flight training journey, and I think I'll call this video, Give Yourself a Break, because that's really what this is about. You've probably been too hard on yourself in the flight training journey. You probably didn't give yourself the leeway and the room to do things imperfectly for as long as you had to do them until you learned and until they cemented. And I'm saying you probably because most people, unfortunately, including myself in the beginning, sadly, do this. Oh, I need to know how to land by next week. Oh, I need to figure out, I need a solo by next month. I need to have my check ride done by July, whatever it might be. My landings need to be smoother. Sure, they need to be smoother, but they don't need to be smoother by next Sunday, right? Sure, you need a solo, but you don't need a solo by next week. Sure, you need a check ride done, but it doesn't have, who said it has to be July? Right? You hear what I'm saying with this? Sadly, there's a lot of this harshness towards ourselves when it comes to flight training. And if you relate to this, then really take what I'm saying to heart. I've seen, believe me, I'm not telling you to listen to me because I'm smarter than you. I'm just saying, trust me on this one because probably I probably came across and communicated with more people going through what you're going through than you have. Probably. And what that gives me is not more brain power or smarts. It gives me what's called perspective. And I'm here to tell you that through that perspective over time, I picked up on the fact that so many issues and problems that people deal with out there in the flight training journey is due to their harshness and lack of grace towards themselves. I want to challenge you here in the name of giving yourself a break. I want to challenge you that from this moment on in your flight training journey, you are the most loving person towards yourself. I don't care if you have an instructor who sucks, who yells, which, by the way, you should switch instructors if that's the case. I don't care if your instructor is not your biggest fan. I don't care if your instructor doesn't believe in you as much as they should. I want you to believe in you. I want you to be your biggest fan. I want you to be kind to you. I want you to recognize and understand that no matter who you ever fly with, I don't care if you're going to the airlines, whatever it might be, you're stuck with you, you're taking you everywhere you go. You sit with you in that seat every time you do a flight session. Give yourself a flipping break. Your landings are not smooth, you'll work on your landings. But it doesn't make you a nobody, a good for nothing. It makes you someone who showed up and wants to become a pilot and is spending a lot of money and committing a lot of time and putting in a lot of work to make this thing happen. Give yourself a flipping break. Be kind to yourself. Avoid the negative talk. Your instructor said something that you maybe didn't understand the first time. Fine. I don't understand things the first time all the time. No one does. And if it sounds like I'm extra passionate in this video, it's because I am. There's so many issues and frustrations that people could avoid out there, student pilots, if they just were kinder to themselves. Be kind to yourself. You gotta be your biggest supporter in this journey. It's frustrating enough to learn a new language, ATC, landings, all these concepts you never thought about is frustrating enough. You don't need to add your lack of room for you to the picture. You don't deserve that. So give yourself a break. Please, starting from the next lesson or starting from this moment right now, I challenge you. Be kinder to yourself. The next time you land like that and you mess the whole landing up, I want you to be kind to yourself. I want you to tell yourself that you will learn from that and do better on the next time. And if the next time you don't do better, you'll do better on the next time. I want you to want to solo, but if you don't solo next Monday, I want you to be kind and understanding towards yourself. And I want you to understand that no one on this planet learns anything at the same rate, in the same speed, in the same way. I want you to be kind to yourself. I want you to be proud of yourself for going through flight training. How many people, do you know how many people are out there who thought of becoming a pilot? You probably spoke with them. What do? I'm a pilot. Oh my gosh, I've always wanted to be a pilot. Yeah, well, why aren't you a pilot? Right? You probably met those people. And you know why they're not a pilot? Because they never found a way to do what you're doing right now. So I want you to appreciate that about yourself. I want you to remind yourself, whoa, I'm going after my dream. I'm out there spending money, working hard, and doing things that could be very frustrating at times. And the last thing I need is for me to also be hard on me. There's enough things out there that are challenging right now until I figure them out, because it's all just flipping new. So give yourself a break. Do it for you, do it for those around you, do it for your passengers. Okay? Give yourself a break. Be kinder to yourself and be your biggest fan, and talk to yourself and tell yourself, this is a journey. It doesn't happen in a day. I'm not perfect. Being perfect doesn't mean learning this quick, okay? Give yourself a break. And I promise you, if you show up with this attitude and this mindset, I promise you, your entire flight training journey will transform. And if it doesn't, reach out to me. I almost said I'll give you a refund, and then I realized there's no money exchange going on here. But yeah, reach out to me, and I promise you, you won't reach out to me, because it will be 100 times better. Be kinder to yourself, take good care of yourself, and give yourself a break. All right, love you guys.